Kal Kadosh, Shavua Tov, I hope all is well. Mishna Yomi. Masechet Bava Kamma, chapter 1, Perek Aleph, Mishna Gimel and Daled. We're finishing the first chapter. This is the Mishnah number 3 and 4. Mishnah Gimel speaks about Shum Kesef, which means we're talking about the rules of paying for damages. So Shum Kesef, Shum is a Shuma, which is an evaluation. When we're talking about evaluation of damages, it is going to be done in money, Vishaveh Kesef, and if the person dies, and he leaves property, so they cannot collect actually money. They're only collecting land, which is called shaveh kesef. They cannot collect kesef in itself. So if the guy obviously all of a sudden just dropped dead, and now we had to collect from him, we cannot just collect dollar bills, we have to collect the land. Bifnei bedin, all these decisions are always done in front of a bedin, and which is basically obviously a court of judges. And al pi edim bnei chorin bnei brit, they have to always be done with witnesses, which are bnei chorin, free men, bnei brit, and part of our covenant, and it cannot be anybody else, obviously. So it's free Jewish men are required. Hanashim bichlal nezek, women are included in all the halachot of nezakim, which means whether they damage or they are damaged, it's the same halacha for them, just like by men. And the victim and the damager are also in the payments. What does that mean? Sometimes it happens that if the animal was killed and then afterwards the carcass is decreased in value, the damager only pays the loss at the time of the damage, and therefore if it went down in value afterwards, so therefore the damagee is also kilu paying as well. So it's basically the one that's damaging and damaging, they're going to be also in the payments as well. That was Mishnah Gimel. Last Mishnah of the Perek. Here we know that there's something which is called keren, because we spoke about the ox in the first Mishnah. In the first Mishnah, we only spoke about the ox damaging with its feet, which means it's like trampling when it's walking, and with its teeth, right? With basically the mave, which is basically that it's eating. So now we're going to speak about with its horns. The horns is another way of damaging, and therefore we want to now understand what happens. So there's going to be a difference between a tam and a muad. A muad is a habituous gorer, and a tam is not a habituous gorer. So it means muad is anything which is normal to cause damages, and a tam is not normal. So now with that, let's try to understand this Mishnah. The Mishnah Dalet says, Chamisha tamin v'chamisha muadin. There are 5 situations where an animal is considered a tam, and 5 situations that it's considered a muad. So the Mishnah says, a behema and a muedet. So an animal is not considered a muad, meaning that it's a tam, lo ligach, not for goring. So the first time that it's gores, second time, it's all considered a tam. Lo likof, pushing with its body. Lishoch, to bite, to cause damages. Velo libot, so to squat, like to jump on top something to break it. Velo livoto, to kick something to break it. Since these are unusual actions, so therefore he only has to pay chetzi nezek. Remember that a tam only pays half damages. Hashen muedet lecholet ra'uila. Now we're going to list the 5 things which are considered muad, which means that since it's normal to do that, they have to pay full damages. So shen is eating with its mouth. That's muad because it's normal for an animal to eat food that it's suitable for it. So shen muedet lecholet ra'uila, something which is fitting. So it means if an animal is going to eat something which is not normal for it to eat, then no. But if it's normal for it to eat, so then yes, it's going to be chayav. The regel, which is walking, is muad to start breaking things when it's walking. Number 3, shor muad. We're talking about shor muad when it's already goring and it's going to be a habituous gore. So 3 times it makes it into a muad. Number 4, shor mazik b'shuta nezek. We're talking nizak, right, which is over here, an ox that does keren damage in the area owned by the damaged party, is as if that it was a muad even the first time around, which means you don't need it, because this Mishnah is talking about that since he's entering another person's property and doing it, so he automatically is considered a muad. Okay, there's a whole machloket here. The Rabbi Tarfon argues on this, which we're going to learn later on, but this is the Chachamim, argue on this later on, not on Rabbi Tarfon, but fine. The Adam, the last one is a human being. A human being is always considered a muad from the beginning. Next, the Mishnah is going to speak about certain animals that since they're already aggressive, they are always considered muads. So a ze'ev, a wolf, ari, the lion, a dov is the bear, hanamer is the leopard, bardilas is a hyena, right? The nachash is a snake, these are muadim all the time. Why? Because since of their nature, they deliberately attack all the time. So therefore, they're going to be chayavim. Rabbi Eliezer says, but if you make them domesticated, which means you start bringing them up in your home, so they're not muad anymore because they're probably tame, and therefore that's it. You're training them. But Rabbi Eliezer accepts that a snake is always considered a muad, even if it grows up in your house, because he says you could never really tame such an animal. So mam ben tam lemuad. What's the difference between a tam and a muad? And a tam shlem chetzi nezek. Remember that the tam is always going to pay chetzi nezek, but not only chetzi nezek, chetzi nezek, which means it can never pay more than the value of itself. So it's first of all half damages of whatever it damaged, plus the half damage is only from its body. You're never going to pay more than the value of the actual animal. Muad mishlem nezek shalem. Remember that the muad will pay the full damages, and also min aliyah, he must pay from the best that he has, which means that, let's say for example, if the animal was only worth $500 but it damaged 1,000, so now he has to pay $1,000 of damages, because not only is it just for the body of the animal, so he's going to pay, and also for the best of the lands.